Okay, I am working on this theory of propulsion systems, um, and I'm going to begin to show the public some of the ideas that have been developing here. I'm not going to give any of the details about what's going on because it's still a proprietary idea, but it's about the transition from proprietary status to public status. So I think it's about time that I can at least begin to give ideas or hints about what was going on here. So what it is that this propulsion system, like all other propulsion systems, based on the conservation of momentum and mass flows. And how those mass flows and momentums are arranged is what makes the difference between this and the previous methods of propulsion. So what I have here is the momentum equation. The momentum before and after an event inside of a closed system with no external forces is conserved. So there are two parts, M1 and M2 having V1 and V2. Then the other significant matter is the center of mass. And what is important about the center of mass in this development is that the center of mass is sort of like a measuring stick or a factor that I can use to determine whether this is a valid process that is going on. For instance, there are certain rules governing the center of mass and the motions of the center of mass. And one of them is that no matter what goes on in a system, when the center of mass is on a trajectory, all the parts moving around in that system does not change the motion of the center of mass. In other words, the center of mass follows its path at constant velocity. So what I want to find out is if in this system those rules are followed or violated, and that will determine whether this would be an easy idea to sell, because if it follows the rules that everyone knows governs the motion of the center of mass, then there will be very little resistance to accepting this as a valid method of propulsion. However, if it violates these rules, might not mean specifically that this idea is not valid, but it would also mean that it would be very difficult to accept, and there would have to be some proof that there is a new phenomenon, or a phenomenon that has not yet been described in detail going on. And sometimes that happens. When we begin to introduce new ideas, there are always new phenomena that have to be described, proved, analyzed, and studied. So I had done the mathematics before, and I'm going to now write out what my result is. Since this system has both variable mass and varying distance, to find the velocity of the center of mass from the center of mass formula, we simply take the derivative of the center of mass formula. However, this system has both variable masses and variable velocities, so this derivative is going to be of this form, and it's a pretty big equation. So bear with me. M1 plus mass 2, so on.